Alrighty, we're back with our second round here. Second album for Judas Priest reviews. And it's none other than, what, 76? Yep, 76. Judas Priest Sad Wings of Destiny. And man, what an album. Um, I'll just, preface this by saying that unlike, I started with the 80s albums. I kind of talked about this in my last review. I talked about how when I went back and listened to Rock-A-Rolla, that I had, it was so different that I couldn't really, I really despised it at first. But it was totally different whenever I went back and listened to this one. Totally different. Absolutely loved this thing and still do. An incredible sophomore record. And the band seems to have really found their sound here. And that you'll see throughout their discography, Priest just continues to evolve. But yeah, we'll hop on with side one, which is one of my favorite Judas Priest songs of all time, opening it up. Victim of Changes. After I heard that song, I just knew, I was like, this album is going to be freaking killer. And man, the time changes in that thing, with that breakdown, just absolutely incredible. That is easily one of my favorite Judas Priest songs of all time. Then after that, got another one of my favorite ones, The Ripper. Heavy riff. And this album it's a lot heavier than Rock-A-Rolla. It's not like as heavy as like a Screaming for Vengeance, like their 80s stuff yet. But it's still quite a bit, significantly heavier than their first album. And it's still heavy. But yeah, The Ripper, another great song. Then you've got Dreamer and Deceiver. And then right after that, Deceiver, those kind of bleed in together, almost like a little two-part. And also just incredible songs. The progginess really continues to show on this album. And even more so on this one. Like I said, I'm Victim of Changes, that break down the middle, which is just beautiful. The Ripper's more of a fast-paced, heavy one, but then Dreamer, Deceiver, and then Deceiver, which follows it, are really proggy, have a lot of breakdowns and stuff in it. Then we've got, on side two here, Tyrant, which is a badass track. I like the kind of deep vocals that Halford does in the back, and also the background vocals with him during the chorus, and like that dark, like evil type voice during the breakdown. It's pretty cool. Then we've got, after that, Genocide, and that's a pretty awesome song, I guess. Not one of my favorites off there. Or no, I'm wrong. That one is actually really good. That one's really badass. I'm a big fan of Genocide. That is a good freaking song. I was thinking of the later one on the album, but another really proggy track. Then you've got Epitaph, I think is how you say it, which is just kind of the intro, pretty much, to the song afterwards, which is Island of Domination. Or no, and even then, Epitaph, though, is great, though, because it's got that piano going on, and it's really beautiful. You hear some really nice, clean vocals from Rob Halford, and it's just, I love that little piano line that's going on there. But then Island of Domination is the final track, and that one's probably the one I would say that's kind of the sleeper for me, at least. Not my favorite one on here, but still a good song. Overall, the album, though, is just absolutely killer. Track to track is just wow. It just keeps blowing you away as you keep going through it. And that's why, going back, from the honestly, like I was saying, whenever I went back, after I listened to like all the 80s ones, and 90s Priest, I went back to like their 70s stuff, and I was worried after I heard Rock-A-Rolla. I was like, oh god, this is not gonna be good. And this one absolutely changed my mind on that, or it really took away that fear, because it's such a damn good album. And a lot of people would say this is their favorite Judas Priest album, and that is a strong argument. Of course, I'm not going to give away my ranking of where I would put it yet, but yeah, definitely one of the strongest albums of the 70s, in my opinion. One of the best sophomore albums of all time, in my opinion. I mean, especially just as far as drastic tone changes and evolution of a band goes. But yeah, that is my review of Judas Priest's masterpiece here, Sad Wings of Destiny. Next time we'll be looking at sin after sin. Thanks, guys.